Today I took two trades, one loser and one winner, both pretty much on the same setup. So yesterday there was a pretty big sell-off, so it was overlapping lower pivot relationship on TPO, also overlapping lower on the cams, but it was an inside relationship on CPO. So I was thinking it could be a breakout type of day, but overnight there was a big sell-off all the way down here, so I thought the sell-off already happened from there, and it was opening under L5, under S2, under value area low ETH, under range and value RTH, and it was just a very, very bearish open here. But because it was opening under L5 and S2, I thought it was pretty overextended, so I was looking for more of a bounce back up into about the L5 area, S2, or value or low here. The other thing was that it was inside this high volume node, so this 7407 ledge was there, and a little bit higher might do too. So I was looking for that 4707 ledge, S3 at 7416. I wanted to long at that area. If not, and it comes even further, I want to long this 3-hour demand zone I had that is also aligned with this high volume node ledge at 7366. So those are my two long levels. If it doesn't reach there and comes up, I wanted to short S2 or L5, somewhere in this range, 74.54 to 65 area, to short and target this high volume node ledge and S3. And pretty much worked out my plan. It came down, it opened up, it came down into S3, and it was a pretty fast bounce here. Didn't get an entry there, but I tried to get an entry on a pullback. The first one didn't work, but the second one did, and so got a nice little long out of it. So market opens up and comes down into S3 is 7416 here, so it comes down to 7416, and then immediately starts bouncing here. So when it starts bouncing, it makes this kind of a B shape that I liked. And buying imbalances came in on its way up, and then starts rallying. So there's this 1 minute delta divergence here that was forming before the candle closed, but a bunch of buyers come in, buying imbalances come in, and it starts rallying up. So I was looking for an entry there, but it moved a little too fast for me there. So I was looking for a retest back into, there's that B shape there with the POC at the lows. So I was looking for a retest back into some sort of pullback back into this area of imbalances so that I can take it long. So this first trade comes back. I guess it wasn't back towards these imbalances. Well, yeah, it did come back to these imbalances, and then it starts bouncing a little bit. A lot of buying imbalances come in again, and I was kind of enticed. I was telling myself that I didn't really see that much confirmation besides these buying imbalances. Maybe a B shape over here, but besides that, not much. And I said I should be very patient here instead of just jumping in. But I didn't listen to myself there, and just jumped in right away. And when I started seeing these buying imbalances come in again, this sort of B shape hold, while I was forming a B shape on the 2 minute here with a POC at the lows and bouncing back up. So I entered here with the stop below 22s for a continuation upwards. I thought it was decent because it came back into these buying imbalances, filled these up, and then was bouncing. So it did work out for a little bit and then just completely failed. So yeah, I got stopped out. I thought it was gonna bounce because it was a nice 20 range delta divergence here. Thought it was a decent chance with the POC at the lows, but did not happen. So I just came in, boom, and stopped me out. So now I'm looking at this again, seeing if the same S3 level will hold. I like this S3 level because it's been forming a RSI divergence here. So RSI or price broke the lows, but RSI didn't, and it was sustaining that, kind of a 3-minute hammer there and a 5-minute hammer there. So I liked that, came back in, and then now retesting that 74.16 level again, while forming a CVD hidden divergence. So price did not break the lows yet, but CVD did. So I like this setup even more, right at S3, RSI divergence, CVD hidden divergence, a very nice clear divergence, and also 20 range delta divergence now forming, and also on the 2-minute it starts forming a delta divergence there. So that was pretty much all I needed to go long here. So I had RSI, CVD hidden divergence, 20 range, although it didn't really finish as a delta divergence, and then 2-minute delta divergence, although that also did not really end up as a delta divergence. But comes back to this S3 level at 74.16, holds that B shape that initially formed, and yeah, that's all I really needed. Honestly, at this point, I was like, am I just being too impatient? Am I just FOMOing in? But I mean, I did have good confirmations, especially this CVD hidden divergence. That's why I think I went in, because of that CVD hidden divergence. Yeah, so that was a good entry, and then it pretty much just rallied straight up from there. Yeah, there was a little bit of a pullback here, but bars hold. Even here could have been a decent entry. I got in at 20, almost 22, but 24 wouldn't have been bad either. And then, and then here, it comes back, and then tests pullback, pulls back with a delta divergence, but forms a bullish delta divergence on the 20 range chart, with the POC at the lows, forming a B shape right there, POC at the lows, and holds, and forms a 2-minute delta divergence also. So I was thinking about adding another contract here, but then it started moving too fast for me. Probably could have added another one here, but there's a pop and then it just rallies. So missed the chance to add that here. Initially, my target was about 3R here. So I was about there, 42 or so, 43. But that was that retest here. So on this retest, well, on this pullback, it holds very nicely with a delta divergence. So I thought there was room for it to rally even more. And in the pre-market, I did say that I wanted to long this area to target this area. So I thought L5 was a good technical target to go for. Even though it seemed like a stretch at the time, the pullback held nicely, and it seemed pretty strong here. So, I mean, if this rejected right at 3R, I wouldn't be sitting here saying this. I'd be saying I should have followed my 3R take profit rule and not been greedy, but it did work out. So I guess that's good. But I did, after this, I did trail my stop to here because I already broke 2R. Now it was a 2R and a pullback hold. So I formed that higher low. So I had my stop at the 30s now instead of break even. So I increased my target to L5 and then started trailing the stop. So I need a little pullback here. I trailed the stop. Now I'm trailing it too, as long as this breaks these highs. I'm putting my stop at 38. I already have my stop at 35 here. Another little pullback. And breaks the highs, and I put my stop to 38 now. And yeah, there's a little bit of consolidation, but another 2-minute delta divergence forms bullish. Maybe I could have added another one here, but yeah, forms a nice delta divergence and then hits my target at 54. So after that, it keeps rallying up even further until L4 rallied another like 30, 40 points. But I am very, very satisfied with this. Um, I got much more than I bargained for. It was my plan, and my plan worked out perfectly, and I executed decently well. Um, except for the first trade, I think that was early and not very good confirmations. So if I avoided that, that would have been better, but can't complain here. Not too bad. Not too bad.